And that Vatican priest was absolutely correct. This is a war that is going on, folks. And the question is, if a Vatican priest can see it and start speaking out about it, what is the matter with the people in the general public out there? But things are getting crazier and crazier, folks, which is why I just thought I'd pop up and have a quick couple of words about what's going on. This isn't being done for your health, folks, and the level of propaganda is just through the roof. But they're really just trying to isolate people. That's what all of this is about. Isolation, getting people scared of each other. So many people are scared, A lot of people think of AI, artificial intelligence, okay? People will look at it and they'll think, well, AI is promised highly, and it's delivering poorly, because when people think of AI, they think of something that looks like me or looks like you and can stand here and interact the way we are. This is artificial intelligence. They expect a robot like Terminator or whatever, something that is human-like and we can have a conversation with. And we're not getting that, so we think, well, AI really isn't a threat. It's not really doing what we thought it would do. But they don't understand what gives me the ability to sit here and talk to you like this is because my body is autonomic. My body is fully autonomic. If I had this vessel that I'm controlling here, that I inhabit, because this is where I live in this vessel. This is what I consider life to be. This is just what I'm walking around in. This consciousness could not function to be able to talk to you if I had to look after the workings of this vessel. If I had to sit here and think, I've got to pump blood there, move this bone, heartbeat, breathe, blink the eye, you're going to be sitting here just going, yeah, I'm working. You're not going to be able to do anything. You have to be autonomic in order to have any form of real consciousness. And what we are doing with the internet is we are creating an autonomic internet. So there's a differentiation between artificial intelligence and autonomic intelligence. Because you can't have artificial intelligence, you can't have, and why are we even calling it artificial intelligence? Because what it is it's a virtual world, so really it's virtual life. It's virtual life, it's not artificial intelligence. This is our left brain, intellectual, mono-thinking education that's even making us think this way. It's autonomic virtual life that we are creating, and it needs to become fully autonomic before it will have any semblance of what we perceive to be life or intelligence. We would call it intelligence, but really it's life.
Because a lot of the Bitcoin people, they're just looking at this and they're thinking, well, we're going to free ourselves from fiat currency, but they're not realizing what happens when it all goes digital. What's happening is there's a digital barrier that's been created between us and reality and us and nature, and we're getting to the point where we're going to have to need a mobile phone and a passcode to get into a park or to get into our car or to do any normal things, so society is being restructured into this digital AI reality, and this surveillance mechanism is constructed in such a way that it will weed out dissenters like you and me. Suddenly you'll go to, because we've had this conversation, I'll go, oh, well, Sasha Day game, we've got to drop his social credit points, and you'll go to buy an airplane ticket and find you're not qualified for the airplane ticket. There's no one for you to call. There's no appeal process. You're just not qualified. And you get barred from certain services due to your political viewpoint. They're doing this in China now. They've got over 7 million people on China's credit blacklist due to social crediting, and these people can't do things like ride on aircraft, can't ride on trains, and many of them can't even rent houses. So it squeezes you completely out of the system. And if you're a dissident, they can basically criminalize you by default by lowering your social credit points to the point that they've limited your purchasing power with just about everything. Can't fly, can't travel, can't rent a house, so they put you in the smart prison for your safety. But either way, you become an outcast. And they've done all sorts of stuff in China where they'd like change your ringtone. So if you're on the blacklist and I call you, I'll get a message to say the person I'm calling is on the credit blacklist. Do I wish to continue? Proceed with the call. So then I'll get a little noticing mark against my name that I'm associating with bad characters. So of course I don't want to associate with you, So we start policing our own thoughts, and it's just a way of squeezing all the dissenters out, and no one will even notice them disappearing. It won't be like this big, the revolution will not be televised, It won't be like this big blanket thing that you see. Suddenly you'll just fall off the internet because you don't have enough social credit points to have a house and have the internet on. or you can't access it on your phone because of what you've said. So you just kind of everyone will be going, what happened to Sasha? You know, and suddenly you can't tell anybody because your purchasing power is limited, and you just disappear. You become a noticeable person with the whole surveillance state they're putting in, so you stand out in a crowd.
This time is so important what's happening to humanity. Like, I think we've been given a choice. We can go in either one of two directions, and we really have to put down the fear and realize that the choice is ours to make. A lot of people aren't seeing that. They're waiting to be saved, and I think that's a big problem. People have to realize what's happening and embrace it themselves. I think a lot of what we're seeing here, I mean, humanity is right on a cusp at the moment. We really could go in either direction. You know, with all the technology that's coming online, it's all very well to think that, well, this can just free us. But unfortunately, people's hubris may get them into a little bit of trouble, because you've got to take into account the fact that the world is run by criminals who simply don't want to free us. And that is currently who's in control of a lot of the technology. So it's time for people to really step up to the plate with this and realize that we have to start embracing this ourselves, and we have to be the ones that are pushing in the direction that we want.
And what about like you mentioned technology, now the blockchain is a real game changer.
Well, the blockchain could be a game changer depending on how we play it, because people's hubris, again, may be what gets them in trouble with this. You know, when we go to the blockchain and we start to automate everything, which is what it seems to be happening, everything's becoming automated, you know, we're in danger of trading one type of government for a new type of government, which will simply be an AI government. And if that government is run by artificial intelligence, and it's really going to depend on how that operates. You know, there's new systems coming in, which I intend to talk about in my talk today, like a social crediting system that is coming online. It's already online in China, whereby they will penalize what you can and cannot buy depending on what your political views are. You know, in that sort of a situation, it doesn't matter how much money you may have on the blockchain or in Bitcoin. If you can't spend it on things because your person is simply denied certain services due to your political views, due to a social crediting system, which is what governs purchases, not necessarily the accumulation of wealth, but what governs purchases of airline tickets and things like this, then that's a danger that we've got to take into account as well. So again, it's going to depend on how we play it. The blockchain could be good, but we've got to look at how those who are currently in control of things wish to play this, and what moves they're making to control the blockchain. Not again by controlling the blockchain, but by controlling what you can and cannot purchase due to your political views. It could be a means of getting less government, or it could be a means of simply handing over to a new form of government. You know, what we have to understand is that by putting artificial intelligence in control of what we do, essentially we remove any accountability from the chain, because at the moment, as corrupt as our system is, there are still mechanisms in place which could be used to hold politicians accountable and to change the direction that we're going.